Welcome to Monday Mints. We're all here. Well, we're here, but we're, some of us are avatars. There we go. We got people in these places and boobs in all the right areas. We got others joining us as usual. They'll be late. It's not me this time. It's just because I happen to like to do the computer parts of it, so I'm already here. So, and it'll possum playtime. Tonight is, let's see, I gotta remember to delete that fucking comment. Lunch is tonight, wrong munch. Sorry. Tonight is that right there. We're gonna stumble through this shit like always. The art of pretend, the understandings of basic role play, or the basics of role play, dyslexic, whatever.
Does that mean you like her ass and then shit?
Yes, sometimes. You know what? Let me put it out there. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced this, but when you get in the shower and then you get that sudden urge to take a poop, and then you go sit down on the toilet and poop, that is the grossest feeling in the fucking world.
I cannot stand the slippery toilet seat. It feels like you're going to slide off into the netherworld and lose your tailbone at the bottom of the ocean. It's just not a good feeling.
And bear with us, people watching, because this is not what much is about. It's all about role play, not scat play.
That whole falling off the toilet feeling is even better when your toilet seat is actually not secured to your toilet at all.
Oh, that's always fun too. That does suck. I am excited about this one tonight. What?
I just have to, y'all just went on about that forever, but I have to interject the fact that you can easily towel your ass and backside off.
Sometimes you ain't got time.
Yeah. Sometimes
it's easy to sit on a wet ass or you waffle stomp. You ain't got no other choice.
Don't poop in my shower.
But Alice and Dream will be here shortly. You guys keep an eye on the bottom. I don't know. Can you guys see the?
No, we can't. Dear, you have to, can I?
If somebody come in and comments in the back, we can see that.
There you go. Yeah. So they usually. So
when our friends show up, if they comment, I'll holla.
Exactly. So tonight is all about role play. Not something I have a huge, deep knowledge of. I mean, as far as like the sexy in the bedroom kind, games and D&Ds and video games and such. That's always a good time. But same concept, just in real life.
Shut up! You know you're a Care Bear Alliance player. Don't even front.
Well, we're not talking about that.
So, we are discussing roleplay this evening, everyone, in case you're unclear.
I think roleplay is a great way to push the boundaries of trust while still maintaining a allure of fantasy. It allows you to begin your exploration within the bedroom scene. It really is that jump-off point. You can start opening up and finding out those things that you kept suppressed for so long in this fashion.
Another thing too, role-playing stuff can be very good for working through sexual traumas. In a situation with somebody that is trusted enough, it can help reframe the thought processes around previous things that have happened.
Right. In response to this, Alice, 1, get your ass up here. 2, Care Bear Alliance represent.
For the whore.
Mosey, I think you are absolutely ready for bed. I gave Dream plenty of time.
Give Mosey some scritches from Uncle Basic, please. Thanks.
All right, so we lower the shoulder. You just clamp on. There you go.
Bye, guys.
Mosey is the cutest.
While he's away, I'm going to tell everybody that I had the bestest day yesterday. The weekend was like this extremely long blur of amazingness. We did the purgatory. I worked, I made money, like no sleep in between. And then we got on, or I did my Pervertibles live stream. So I put my very first video on YouTube, you guys. So you should all go look at it. And just sit down. And learn how to make a flogger out of your clothes.
I'm still sorry. I was supposed to be there and I was not there.
You were sleeping because if you weren't sleeping, I wouldn't have made it.
Okay.
One of us had to be sleeping because I was running on no sleep. I'm really proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, Miss Jen.
Well, that worked out. So, what's going on? So, yes, sir. Do you want to? If you want a link to come up, we're talking about role play. I know that you do D&D, so you do like outside the bedroom role play.
We could talk role play. I was a cute little fairy.
What
is it?
Is that the same text?
Yeah, that's Mr. Text.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you do want that, please let me know, and we'll get you the link to get up here on this panel, sir. And yes, Chamberlain, this thing is real. This wonderful little possum is real.
Hey, Chamberlain.
I've had her for about 2 weeks.
I saw Rachel for a little bit today on Clapper. She might be around too.
Absolutely. I kind of spammed everybody in my comments. Sorry for that, guys. Not sorry. You guys need to be here. If anybody wants to join the panel and have a conversation about role play, you're more than welcome to let me know in the comments. We'll get you the link one way or another. And hell yeah, you can never have too many people. Well, you can never have more than 10.
You can have any kind of want.
Exactly. You can have up to 10.
Coffee right now.
Would you like to have a coffee?
So, looks like Mosey's here to hang out for the munch, guys. I tried to get her off my shoulder. Like she just
it was gonna be hot potential so much, but
that's right. Yes, got the simple costume. Got the nice professor look going on.
Now he's the crazy professor with a pocket in his neck.
Well, see, I mean, I'm a biology teacher. There you go.
I'm an anatomy instructor.
There you go. But see, like a lot of people, so we'll get into this later, obviously, but a lot of people understand that role play can be as simple as putting on a suit, putting on a vest, and dress up or button up shirt. Alice is here. Hello.
Or even that.
Looking fantastic. Or
hello.
You know, there's all kinds of role plays.
Hi.
So you know what?
I was gonna say a thing, but words. Hi.
Ray, you want to go ahead and say the thing?
I forgot it's a thing. You're too cute.
It's hard to do in the cat gloves, but you know.
Meow.
Oh yeah, I'm a fox. That's what I was gonna say.
Yes, you are a vixen.
Germany.
So text I sent. Oh, hello, Juliet. Juliet is like one of the people that I look forward to the most. When I make my photo threads, always participating. Happy to.
Juliet.
So Juliet, if you actually want to be a part of the panel, let me know and I can get you the link to jump up here. Everybody is always welcome to join the panel. So yeah, role play thing.
We'll get to role play things and such, won't we?
Oh, absolutely.
I was showing my super outfit off again.
Yeah.
Before I changed.
Well, see, I mean that 1950s style works too. That's simple. You know.
Am I allowed to show the other part of my outfit without it being on me, or will that get us in trouble?
You're allowed to do whatever you want. We get banned or kicked off. We get banned or kicked off. Fuck it, we'll roll through it again.
This is the other part of my outfit.
There you go. And that is a neat tie holder. You rack it to the wall there, and you just put your ties around it.
Yeah.
I have a cat one of those, and I was debating whether or not to be later to make sure I got it in, but I didn't, unfortunately.
I really need a drink.
I'm
guys
thirsty too.
We want to add more to our costume. Shall I? What is that show that we started watching and we never finished this stuff? Where she's been around the office doing things for this.
So let's stick with these comments. I do get bad about that. So
Anybody else know what show I'm talking about? It is a BDSM knowledge book, and she runs around the office like, I wonder if I can get it on myself.
Oh, I get that one.
Yeah, the plug's too small.
the
And then
plugs
like
are-
the next size up is either like a forearm or Volkswagen.
Well, see, for me personally, the fact that it is small works because, yeah, that's all that I do in that particular region of the body is small.
At the risk of possibly oversharing for the munch, the largest toy I have is literally the size of my forearm, so the small plugs are sometimes not holdy enough.
I understand.
I will occasionally, if I get froggy enough, move up to a medium, but even that it's a challenging fit.
So now Dream wants me to finish the stockade that I've worked on. I got to finish that up because they really want me to bring that. All I've got left is like the padding and all that fun stuff. The padding for the inside circles and making sure it's sanded and line it with like some fur or something cute. It's simple. It was easy once I figured out how to do it.
I'd let Dream put me in a stockade.
Yeah, I don't have, like this one just is made to where the little dowel rods are tight enough to like when you put it on, it stays pretty stuck. I don't have any locks on it at the moment, but
Just when I asked how stockades can be put into role playing.
Absolutely. We sure can. Look at you leading on the thing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it a controversial statement. I know that race play is something that stockades are used in heavily, and that is, in fact, a role play.
It is.
Like it or not, it is. It's something that people are happy with doing if they're comfortable with that.
As long as everyone's adults and consenting, not our business.
We all glitched the fuck out for a second.
A slightly less controversial could also be used for like a medieval set. There's other uses.
Is that my internet connection going stupid?
I think so.
Controversial. We could use it for crucible setup or whatever.
Yeah. Tony said witches. Hello, TK Beth.
Witches.
That's not roleplay though.
Beth?
Yeah, right. Like you can't just chain up a witch and call it role play. That's just chaining up a witch.
I mean, you can if you have a scene set up with it can.
Now we have to figure out though, because like, are we talking like real witches, or are we talking like hocus pocusy witches? Because some people believe the Wiccan and follow the witch religion, and then some people just like to dress as witches for Halloween.
Those ones can be fantastic.
Beth is a good one for a good example for role play.
Yes.
Beth has the Star Wars get up on like everything. It's amazing.
Oh yeah,
Shoes are fantastic. I love it. I think it's like tkbethsmith.com. So get all of her fun stuff.
If you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend checking out Beth's stuffs. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean it just depends.
So back to the witches thing, that can bring in the point of anything can be made into a role play thing. These are real things. Doctor, nurse, sexy ass fucking nun. These are real people that we might not be, but we want to dress up and pretend to be like, and that's great. It's respectable. I had my camera off and I'm using my hands talking to you guys, looking at y'all.
Hi.
It's a good time.
Hello, Dream.
Dream, you see what I have? I kept her up just for you. I kept her up just for you.
She stayed up for you.
Forgive me for that sin.
right?
I'll keep sinning if I got to confess to that.
I mean, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, and sorry, Daddy, I've been bad. Are awful close together.
Exactly.
Right, Jack? I'm with you, bro.
Absolutely, it's awesome.
Oh,
I kind of wish my hair was longer because I wanted to do the emo flippy thing as a nun, but I can't.
Oh yeah, you totally should. So we're still kind of in the beginning of it. So that's something that, like Jen said, anything can just about be a role play.
And role play is the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Lucy?
I mean, you can role play as you're a regular person and the other person is that weird, scruffy looking dude at the gas station that you always run into that want to do nasty things with.
Whatever, each of their own.
Feel called out, Richard.
You know what I'm saying? And role plays don't have to be costume oriented.
No, they don't.
You know that misconception. Professor student. That's an easy one. You don't have to dress up for that.
or even like I don't remember who, because brain is stuck not remembering stuffs right now with all of that on the screen. But even like the role play of meeting your significant other at a bar and pretending to not know each other. There's no costumes involved with that.
That's a good one.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
My name is Matt. Make me your Matt. How's that for a role play? Well, it depends. Now, if you get into the stepping on and, you know, the objectification, then yeah.
Oh.
But that covers a whole different side of kink. And essentially now, bear with me here. I think I said this last week or I said it somewhere. I don't remember now. But dominant submissive is a role play.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a fair statement to say that role play, as far as kink goes, is the crossroads of the entire intersectionality of kink. Like whether you're going furry or you're going into cosplay, or whether you're talking about just meeting your significant other or tying up and restraining or suspension or any of that.
Yep.
We call these scenes. Yeah?
Yeah.
So in those scenes, you're acting or playing a role.
So
Down the role play highway.
Starting point, and you can spin the wheel and decide which paths you want to check out. And in this freedom that is the role play is where the discovery occurs.
oh, for sure.
But not always. It's not always like that. You don't always have scenes and stuff. Some people live the lifestyle, and that's not a scene.
Right.
Correct.
But at the same time, even if you're a sadist or a masochist, you may not be that way 100% of the time. You still have to get into that role.
Are you sure? I exist here. You guys know me. My name is Dream. Hi, your local sadist all the time. You know, never not thinking of something violent.
Counterpoint.
Just as a nun right now. The irony.
Counterpoint. Masochist all the time, always thinking of something violent.
Counterpoint.
Happening to them.
But you know what I'm saying? Like so, I mean,
But
life is just role playing. Okay, there we go. There's the whole munch. Thanks for coming.
We want to talk about role playing. Masochists stub their toe on the stairs and are like, I love this. And deep inside they're dying because it's not what they meant to do.
Oh, and
counterpoint to the
Tina.
counterpoint.
Glad you found us.
You shut up and let Rosie.
Like, counterpoint to the counterpoint, though. Like, yes, masochist. Yes, always kind of thinking about that, but not always outwardly displaying it.
Right. You don't shut the door on your hand before you leave the house just so you can shut the door on your hand.
You don't step on thumbtacks at work to get off. I mean, some people do, but
I mean, I'm sure some.
Speak for yourselves. Goddamn.
that's why some people do.
Right.
I agree with Lavender.
Wait, what did Lavender say?
Said Dream, love the nun look, and also Alice.
Oh, hi, Lav. Hi.
Lav is my
just
partner,
realized-
for the record.
I'm like, I know
Hi.
your name.
Nice to introduce. You know, thank you. Hi. I always forget that introduction part. Tina follows a couple of us on social media. I think Andrea is here somewhere. She hasn't commented yet. Beth is a good friend of ours.
Got all sorts of people in here tonight.
Absolutely. So that leads into it a little bit more there, Beth. Lifestyle dom. I do not drop it. The costuming wardrobe change, but not the personality dom. So that goes into it. Does that add another? It would add another aspect to it. Although you're not dropping that lifestyle, you're not dropping who you are. Once you step into that costume, it may be a Star Wars theme dom session. It could be, just your standard latex or rubber. It could be any of those things. So like it adds to that, and I guess would essentially at that point make it more of a role play.
And it also kind of depends on who you're playing with too, because while you might always be that role, it depends. Like if you're in a 24/7 dynamic with someone, they're going to always be that role too. But if you are someone that has casual play partners, having your costume on can help the partner get into the scene too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just one of those things where I say like everything is a role play in that aspect, because if you go to a party with your submissive, are you going to make them kneel? I mean, it depends on what kind of party, I guess, but are you going to make them kneel beside you as they open the door and wait to be invited in and all those things?
Absolutely. Oh my God, I wish I had someone who would do that for me.
Hi.
I make my partner slowly and carefully lace up my boots at restaurants.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like we all have those ways. So how much of life is actually role play? All of it.
I'll be right back. I need 5 minutes.
Are you gonna go take a nap?
She's gonna go brush her teeth with that electric toothbrush.
Yeah, very thoroughly.
So I'm stuck with my possum. She won't leave my shoulder.
It's all right. She can just be the 7th member of the panel.
There you go. Probably got as much to input as I do. She brings as much value as I do.
At least she's got more hair.
I know, right? See, already got me beat.
I mean, more hair on her head maybe, but
Yeah.
Squirrel moment that I just thought of because her little paws are like clinging into me. Thumbs did not make humans the dominant species. A lot of people try to say that it did, but it did not. Possums have 4 thumbs.
How do you know they're not the leaders and in control?
I mean, they obviously are in control right now because I didn't just pick her up and put her in the cage.
The only reason they didn't get more technologically advanced is their inner anxiety.
There you go. Socially anxious. They would have ruled the world, but
Anxiety, bitch.
Oh,
Excuse
didn't realize
me?
it. Didn't
I'm
realize.
an anxious bitch all the time, and you
I got you.
And you don't rule the world, honey.
Since Mosey's being shy.
are you sure? No
You
one's
don't
ever
rule
told
this
me
one.
that before.
You don't rule this one.
Dream, you can rule mine whenever you want to.
same.
Yes, Lavender, that is an opossum.
Oh my.
I hear Dream just trying to challenge. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna keep my mouth. I'm gonna drink this.
Out of here.
So I like
I don't know what the dots are for. Are they for the possum or the conversation that's happening down there?
Pretty much both, right, Tony?
And I don't know if Tex is still in here or not, but we need to get Dungeons and Dragons going again, y'all. Yes.
I'm in.
Yeah, we do.
If y'all putting together a game, I'll play.
I am trying, but I don't know how to do it alone.
Would you require some assistance, Dream? I've only been, playing for 30 years. A long time.
Somehow these people have thrust me into creating a game which was not the original intent. I wanted to create something really sadistic, and they're like, oh yes, make it kinky. I'm like, what? They're like, make it sexual, have people fight with dildos and shit. I'm telling you,
I Dream, I
have
feel like you
also-
really need to be part of a queer D&D group so that you can have that experience.
I don't want that experience. I don't know who decided to make me write sexual content, but I am not the one.
Who's good at it though?
For context, like in a queer D&D group, I had a game where we collared the BBEG and she fell in love with us. And there wasn't sex involved too much. It was just mainly the collar thing.
Too much.
Well, I know how to kink. This is not what they want. They want me to shove some dildos up people's asses and make them fall in love that way. Like, here's a strap on. Let me stab you with it a couple times.
Jesus.
The power
Roll
of
for
truth compels you.
The power of roleplay, goddammit. I'm saying a lot of words I probably shouldn't be.
Why can't you say?
Oh wait, because you're in the nun getup.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
That just makes it hotter because it's more blasphemous. So
Just
Please
saying.
do.
Just saying, like, the only time I have ever dressed up as a nun, I did it for Halloween one year, and I took it to a different level. I was a pregnant nun.
Ooh.
I was gonna do the pregnant with my ex-wife when she was pregnant, and be a priest and a pregnant nun. That one fell through.
So, I've got like a couple bullet points that I want to touch on over here. So while we're still on the first general topic of the basics, what would you say are some common misconceptions of roleplay and what people get wrong about it?
Can we leave the topic up there for a moment?
And it is for introvert, weird people.
I would say a misconception is that I come across a lot is that consent no longer applies when you're in character.
Wow, see that one? That's really fucked up.
Day6, don't point at me.
On my screen, I'm pointing at Ray to like emphasize that in role play that in character consent it means consensual non-consent, and that is.
There we go.
Yeah, just put me in the corner. Put me in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
I'm not baby though.
But yes, even in a CMC scene, there is always, no matter what, 100% of the time, the option to remove consent, and it needs to be respected, no matter what the scene is.
Too many fucking douchebags don't understand that.
I would say that it's still important to establish boundaries and discuss these things before time, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that thing we keep mentioning, communication.
Yeah, maybe that communication thing.
But that's
Wait,
why
communication and boundaries.
But that's why the first word of consensual non-consent is consensual.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I still think we need to figure out a better way of saying it.
Right, but I mean, it is an oxymoron in the fact that it's consensual non-consent. I mean, you're consenting to no consent, but you're not giving your right to revoke consent away.
You're consenting to role-playing a non-consensual situation.
Exactly.
In roleplay, you still have the option to revoke consent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
we're playing a game, you can still hit the off button.
You also
can
still
unplug
have
it.
safe words, or some form of gesture if a word is whatever your dynamic has established. There is always in any direction in any party involved the option to remove consent. Otherwise, it's just rape.
And
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. So you guys in the comments, any misconceptions that you guys know of that people talk about or think is...
Or even any conceptions that you have that you think might have been given to you with misinformation involved.
Absolutely. You're going to be put up here in a minute where I'm at. I'm going to make you the host in a second. Another thing, like it's super serious. Like some people make it role play out to be like you're professional fucking actor, and you've got to do it perfectly. You know, if you're not having a good time and you're being silly and laughing when silly shit happens, then it's not fun.
So I would like to try one. You can role play as a kink, but role playing is not always a kink. Please do not go up to somebody who's role playing outside, like LARPing, beating the shit out of each other with a paper towel roll or whatever they do, and
PvP.
be like, "Hey, babe, you want to come rock my sword?" or some shit like that. I don't know what people do. Okay,
Amira,
dirty fucking people.
Amira, you're welcome to join us. Yes, renewed consent. So, tell you what, has anybody got a good run up of a renewed consent? I mean, I have like a common sense idea of what it is, but if anybody has a more technical understanding, it'd be great.
So renewed consent would be like in a situation where the night previously consent was given to be rough and you know, a little bit more restraining, and then the next night when it becomes a lovey situation, the roughness occurs, but that's not what the person wanted. There was no renewed consent. Now, if that person had said, "Hey, you know what you did last night? Do that again," that is renewed consent. But if they don't specifically say that, then go with the flow. If they're being soft, be soft.
Right.
So basically, it's having another discussion or just a quick check-in to make sure that things were previously okay are still okay.
Oh,
And there's also, like, if you're using a light system to manage your consent, if someone yellows, renewed consent applies there, where they're also going to have that check-in. Hey, are you still okay with this? Do you still want to do this? Like that's an important time to renew consent as well.
Yes.
And check in anyway. Be like, "Hey, how are you feeling? Is this okay? Is it too tight? Am I hitting too hard? Please let me know."
Hmm.
Because sometimes people don't want to speak up until someone else is like, "Hey, it's okay for you to speak up."
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for an example of this would be like, before we start a scene, mister, when you check in with me, and then when we're in the middle of something, if you felt like something was out of place, doing that thing that Dream was just talking about, checking in the middle of it. But I gotta add that from my experience, it's important to make sure that the scene does pause and your senses do get regained. Like the blindfold would come up and the earplugs would come out, and it'd be an eye to eye, just
Yes.
to make sure that we're consuming each other properly.
That's one of the things I learned in this class I took the other day was like, if something's wrong or you feel something's wrong, like you don't even have to start the scene. If something looks wrong in this person's eyes or their hands are shaking a little, something that they don't notice, you're allowed to stop it right there and be like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And a lot of people, things that I've run into that were in this class, people love to be people pleasers. They're going to say yes to anything that, it's okay. Yeah. I'm going to do this for you instead of myself, even if it hurts. And sometimes you need the prerequisite of, "Hey, you know what I want you to do? Communicate with me. You want to please me? Talk to me about what you're feeling."
Yeah,
And
that's a really good point. I really like that.
to kind of combine what Dream and Miss Jen just said, like checking in, knowing your partners, but also like knowing that your partner is in the right headspace to give consent.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your partner is too far checked out to give that consent, you need to be aware of that too.
It is truly amazing how much a good Dom has to pay attention to all of the details and keep track with that from experience to experience with a person and take note of body language and how people are.
It also applies to a good submissive too, because check-ins and things like that are just as important for doms. Like, if
be able to communicate within that is.
You can recognize sometimes if something that you're asking of your dom is fucking with their headspace too much, and you need to pull back.
Aw.
I really want to emphasize on that little thing that you just said, Dream, about starting on that foot first. So, hey, this is going to be about trust and communication in the end. And then we talk about things. I like that. It's a good.
Oh, just want to. We always like to acknowledge the positive and the head pats there. Alice is a good dom, so they do a great job of being a dom. Hookah's here. Hi, Hookah. Glad you. I seen you follow me. Really appreciate that. You guys be sure to follow.
I'm glad Lad thinks I'm a good dom, but I'm also a dom with a praise kink. So give me a moment.
Oh yeah. So is this like torture? Just a little bit more.
Yes, for like in the other direction.
Somebody with a praise kink. Everybody in the comments tell Alice how good of a dom they are.
Oh no.
So the thing about Alice here, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have a praise kink, but Mister is also humiliating you right now, which is you're getting double whammy here.
Oh snap! This is gonna do it right here.
I'm being out. Yep, fuck.
That's it. Way to be, Lab.
Good job, Lab. Appreciate it. You sure you can't come up and hang out? That would be great. So
One
something
day.
else that I see here.
Good job, Alice.
It's always like a sexual thing. And it doesn't have to be. Truly,
Ray
in a non-sexual aspect, Ray, role
That's
play.
a point that needs to be made more across all of the boards of kink, that it doesn't always have to boil down to
Thanks, Lav.
sexuality, or not sexuality, but sex, banging, screwing. Sorry. Don't get. Did y'all hear how southern I got for a second?
But so think about it. So like Jen and several of us here run businesses of some sort. You know, the ability for you know, if we're going to meet up with a business, we can have that role play as well. You know, I'll be the potential client. You talk to me about what you want to talk. You know, give me those affirmations and lead that conversation of how it needs to go.
I swear to God, my job tells me role play. Go home and role play with your what? I almost died. Do you know how much shit is in these fucking training videos that sounds kinky as fuck?
Well, see, you do a lot of cold calls, right? It's your job.
Not really.
Oh, you already have leads at least, right? Like they're kind of that cold, warm. Right,
yeah, and I'm the marketing person. I'm not the telemarketing person.
Right, but you still have that responsibility, especially in a work sense, to make sure that you're preparing yourself mentally for every possible avenue. So to have somebody to role play that with in that sense would be wonderful.
Like, hey, I'll be the sexy boss and you be the worker who's trying to impress me.
Exactly. Do that before an interview and see how that works. You want to?
I intimidated the fuck out of my boss on the interview. I'm pretty sure that's why I got hired.
Seduce your boss at the pretend interview that you do before you go to the interview, and you will walk in there with your head so fucking high.
I don't remember what I did before that interview, but I was definitely walking in there like that anyway.
Well, that's because you're a demon that knows what they want, so you're gonna go and get it.
I mean, at least for a while you were preparing, you were shooting shit with me.
There you go, see? And
so I'm hearing a lot of positives about role-playing.
There's tons to be good about roleplay. The biggest hurdle people have is getting over themselves of being embarrassed.
That's
It's tricky.
childish. Only children pretend.
I wanted to say a thing, but my bladder had to be answered first.
That's okay.
Going back to the non-sexual thing and a little bit back to what I said about roleplay being therapeutic. Roleplay can be used to reenact non-sexual things just as easily. Like if you have social anxiety, you can do a roleplay thing where it's exposure therapy to a pretend crowd. Just one example.
Let me ask this question.
So,
Littles.
What? That's not a question.
That was a statement.
Everybody just shush.
Are littles roleplay?
Yes.
Yes, because you are not the actual age that you are
Yes,
portraying.
asterisk. In some cases, like there can be people who have like DID or other dissociative conditions where one of their headmates is actually that age, and
Right.
like that's completely different. Go ahead.
I actually do have personal experience with this. I do have an alter that is somewhere between 3 and 5, but I also do actively, consciously choose to little too, because that is therapeutic for me. And since I have done that, she doesn't feel the need to front as forcefully or as often. So, again, therapeutic.
You know, and it really can be. Don't forget to have fun. Like that's kind of what I touched on just a minute ago. Have a good time doing it, dude. If you're gonna pretend to be a professor, be fucking goofy if you gotta be. You know, if you're gonna be a nurse, be a hot nurse. If you fuck up and say something weird, just roll with it.
My favorite thing during roleplay scenes is to intentionally bust out cheesy lines.
Right? Because I mean, it adds in that it's not. You know, we're not auditioning for a movie. We're having an intimate moment and having fun together.
So, hey, Kitty Maid. Hey, can I get one of those cheesy lines real quick?
While you're preparing basics, whatever you just said looked like it was really important and really
you're
interesting,
muted.
but you're muted.
Well, that's fucked up because I just given a cheesy line. I was gonna say, "Hey, I'm a plumber. Do you need your pipes fixed? Do you need anything tight down there?"
An example of that happened somewhat regularly with an old dom of mine when I was wearing a maid outfit he bought for me was he would go, "You missed a spot," and then just proceed to pull out. Like the clean, like there would be some actual cleanings. Like I'd clean the entire room. It'd get, get the okay, get the nod, and then he'd go, "You missed a spot," and then we go to the bed.
Very nice. So in this particular scenario, or this particular type of kink, we're going to call it, even though it's not necessarily a kink, but in this type of thing, you can watch shitty pornos and get good ideas.
As long as your partner is on board with cheesy lines.
Right.
Can I ask something? Because I have no experience. Is it really like, oh my god, somebody orders a pizza and then 10 seconds later they're banging on the couch?
Sometimes.
In porn, yes.
Sometimes. You know.
It'll usually be something like, "Here's your pizza, here's the price. Oh, sorry, I don't have money. Can I pay you some other way?" And then
I'll give you a tip.
That's a thing? This is what people enjoy?
That's not only just a thing in real porno, like produced porno. There are amateur pornos that do that as well. Like they will actually try to get the driver to. Hasn't happened to me yet. I need to deliver more pizzas. Yes, Ray?
There's a question in the comments.
Question in the comments.
So our pizza delivery driver out here, I think he gets really nervous when he sees that I order pizza because I always open the door in my lingerie because that's all I ever wear when I'm home.
Ray, I'm going to let you take that. Hooka said, "Can you give a little definition of little?" I'm not sure if I understand what it is.
Okay, so
good question.
The best definition that I can give is a person that, for whatever reason, regresses to an age younger than what they are. Most littles are typically child ages, like 10 and under, and you also have middles that are like teenage ages, but that's a whole nother thing. But it's somebody that takes on the characteristics or mannerisms or different things that they like. Like for me, I like my stuffies, my passies, fruit snacks, coloring, things like that. That would be typical of a 3 to 5 year old.
And that's, and a lot of people don't understand. So from my understanding, I'm not, I don't do the little play or middles or bigs or anything like that, but it's majority of the time, it's very little to do with sexual activity.
The majority of the time. There are some littles that require some of the aspects in order for sexual gratification. Like a lot of people that are into diaper play cannot climax without said diaper.
Right.
But as with everything else, nothing applies to everyone.
Exactly. That's like the most universal. That's the only thing that's universal with kink. Is it's not there's no universal law.
It's pineapple on pizza.
Like for me,
if you don't like it, you're wrong. So that's not correct at all.
It is. People
That just means more pineapple for our pizza.
Right.
If everybody likes pineapple.
God bless America.
Ray, we're doing the interrupt Ray night.
Sorry, Ray.
For me personally, my little is completely non-sexual. In that headspace, I am as a child. And it's important to know when you're dealing with a little, what type of little they are, because if you try to do sexual things with a non-sexual little, it is fucked up.
Correct.
And it has nothing. So let me also put it out there, because a lot of people like to misconceive the little thing. It has nothing to do with pedophilia. Even if there is a sexual aspect to it, you're still an adult. You're still making adult decisions. So that is a whole, get that out of your head if that's what you think about it. So ding dong, your opinion's wrong.
Ding dong, your opinion's wrong. I need to coin that, bro. That's gold.
Mr. is not allowed to say that anymore, because that's what we should be saying to him on an almost constant basis.
Well, too bad
most of the time his opinions are wrong on purpose, though.
Yeah.
Yes, that part.
But it's funny to say.
So thank you. I've had a client that wanted baby play. Okay. And, and that's one of those things. I mean, different people, like I said, littles have that different aspect of it. It's like the outside of my realm. We had a littles night for Halloween. I was working
We need another one.
Party, and it looked like they had a lot of fun from the bits and pieces I caught. Definitely need to do that again.
Yes, we need another one.
So I do think we need to have some fun little party nights like that. Yeah.
Occasionally, I do like playing the actual daddy role.
There you go. See.
Only once in a blue moon, though. Don't come to me for that shit.
So we kind of touched on this. We've touched on so many different role play scenarios. It really doesn't even need to be a full topic to cover. I mean, think of a scenario you have interacted with in your life. A server.
Wedding officiant and couple. I have a list pulled up.
Well, what you got? Let's hear some of that list.
Wedding officiant and couple.
Okay, that'd be fun for a 3-way.
I am gonna get so much shit for this.
Oh, I love it. Let's go.
Because it's an actual situation somebody told me about.
Oh.
2 people getting married and then having their fucking weird cult leader guy fuck her on the cake.
Sounds like interesting. It's a very specific type of role play.
That sounds like a yeast infection to me.
There we go.
That wasn't role play.
What else you got there, Jed? Give us 3 more.
Keep
3 more unique ones that you see there.
Okay. Insurance agent
Oh,
and
good God.
quiet.
Fuck you.
There you go.
Fuck you so much.
Okay, I mean, what? Go ahead.
A stand-up comedian and the audience.
Oh shit.
Oh. Okay.
That made my nipples hard.
Velma.
I'm just
Oh
picturing. I
my
realize it's probably
God.
not how it would go, but for that one, I'm just picturing like someone standing on one side of the room telling jokes, and the other person on the other side of the room just shouting "Boo!" from like across the room.
I'm sorry, but my brain just got stuck on the Velma thing, and I just
Right.
pictured the whole "Where's my glasses" moment with somebody behind.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've got them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Damn it, Velma.
So that is for the people watching everywhere. Even if you see this at a later date, what is the role play scenarios that you like?
I like that.
Go ahead.
Jake
Then.
from State Farm.
So another one, primal animalistic roleplay
Yes.
scenes, like
The DMV.
is that how you skip the line?
Well, we know nobody fucks like the government, so it'd be great.
No. You have to wait in line. You gotta wait in line, and it's a slow climax to get to that shit.
And then
But-
once you get up there, you got
Excellent dream.
But to go back to the Eminal thing, sorry, I gotta finish it,
Primal.
or I'll never finish it.
finish
Fine,
it.
go.
The primal play where like then the particular thing that I am wearing would be prey and hunted by predator, and it can be a lot of fun. Sorry, go ahead.
Homeowner and bank coming to repo the house. Okay.
So
Landlord tenant is a common one.
I am currently writing a story because we all know I constantly do that whenever I'm awake and don't have anything else to do. About and don't give me shit about this, guys.
Oh god.
Police officer and a thief.
Oh no, but that's so much fun though.
Okay, can we just talk about this? Because this is kind of one of the things that I wanted to bring up, and it probably deserved to be back over there in the, like, taboo and miscommunications. I have always, it seems like I'm getting a whole lot of grief for this shit. I've always wanted to do the sexy nun. I've always wanted to do the sexy cop. Am I allowed to tell them what we're considering doing, or is that a surprise for when we actually do it?
Go for it. I think it's a great idea.
What are we considering?
Yeah, you already know. Don't play shit.
I don't think Mr. was present. I think it was
On
just
this one.
you and I talking about this.
Was it? I'm pretty sure he said so too, because I said I was going to jump in his arms and you were going to chase us down the highway.
I asked him if he wanted to be the cop or the robber, and then we decided because of his history, he might not be the cop. We'll just let you be the sexy little cop.
There you go.
Okay,
Fill
so
'em in.
this is the idea. The idea is I'm going to be the sexy cop. Jen and Mister are going to be the robbers with the floggers. I'm going to put a mask over my head, and we're going to go all the way down the fucking East Coast at every fucking rest stop and record this shit and make a fucking montage.
But we're going to make sure that we are properly placed.
All the way down to Tampa and back to Con. We're just gonna have a mini movie of me getting my ass slapped at every rest stop, dressed as a cop with, a certain kind of mask on.
Hell
This
yeah.
is the first time I've ever wanted to live on the East Coast.
So here are some other ones, guys, that kind of go out of the box. Time travelers.
And a historical figure.
Mhm.
Oh, can we send Sam back?
Oh, we can exercise that demon.
Oh boy.
You know what I found out earlier? You know what Soup told me earlier? There is hard seltzer made out of holy water, and it burns.
That's great. That is fantastic.
I need this in my life.
You guys know how to make holy water, right? You take regular water and boil the hell out of it.
We
Boil the
haven't
hell out
said the most iconic roleplay yet.
See,
Um,
can I tell a
Apocalypse
funny story?
Survivors.
Can I tell a funny story real quick about the holy water thing?
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
So my mom had said that enough times that we went to a Catholic mass with some older family members, and what is that?
That is apparently a church in the background or something.
Okay, but we went to a Catholic mass and we got kicked out because when the priest started doing the thing with the holy water, my brother stood up freaked out. Are you sure he boiled all the hell out of it?
Oh my god.
My brother was like 9.
That's the best. That's great. So we don't need a second on it.
Impatient, you guys.
We talked so much about this.
I would post Beth's comment, please, Mister.
Absolutely.
It's rather
Yeah,
important.
no. Definitely not.
Try not to look like a real cop. 100%. Make sure you're wearing something silly enough that the cops won't see it, and do not put any weapon-like things on your belt. Handcuffs is it. That's it. That's it.
I don't even think I'd put those on there.
Yeah.
To be fair, can I get back at my old department and just wear my actual police shirt?
What if the
Just for the
feedback
different
coming
belt?
from you? I can't even.
I mean, you're a white guy. You'd probably get away with it.
Exactly.
Jesus. That was loud.
It got really loud for a second, Alice.
Did I?
Yeah, like it was like you put the microphone in your mouth. I don't know what happened there.
How's my level now?
Good.
Better. Please do not deep throat the microphone again.
I didn't.
So
It's
I
on
was
cam.
wondering.
You could have seen that if I was doing it.
Well,
But
I
this
wasn't
is
looking when it got loud, okay?
Deep fake.
Are you not?
So I mean, we do need to, because some people obviously miss this a lot. The power of consent, safe and respectful role playing. Obviously, discuss things beforehand. Negotiations don't have to be a 4-page contract that you sign or anything like that. Like, just talk to your partner, communicate,
Oh my god.
and say,
I
"Hey,
love
look, this is what I want to do."
I love this. No 50 Shades of Grey.
Fuck that.
But now, to be fair, though, some dynamics do a written contract. They have a written contract.
No.
Yeah,
That's
that's fine.
fine. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's fine. Some dynamics do have a written contract, but I'm sorry, that asshole violated the contract so many fucking times there was no point in having the goddamn contract.
I don't think Jen's actually finished the movies, have you, dear?
No, I think I'm gonna dive into the books actually.
I haven't started the movies because that's how bad I know they are, but it should
Right.
be called 50 Shades of Sexual Assault instead of 50 Shades of Grey. There's no gray going on there.
Yeah, I recommend you don't even waste your time on those books. Go read John Norman's Gore.
Oh,
Well,
my.
I do want to do the thing where I watch the movie and read the book and like get all
Review.
pissed off at the movie people for making it wrong.
I read the books specifically so I could more informedly hate them.
Right.
Can we do that one day? Can we have like
I like that logic too. That's when I
a
follow.
review night?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like, if everybody would read the first shitty book and we can all talk about how shitty it is.
Yeah.
I
Or what
wanna
they
have
get
a
wrong.
night
We
where
don't
we
have to
just
bash the
go-
book, but educate the shit they get wrong.
Yes.
We'll not be able to talk about the book without bashing it.
Well, I mean, it bashes itself, so just on principle, you just have to say 50 Shades of Grey. Everyone's like, oh god, okay.
I would also say though too that might be an interesting thing to do. Like, not only say this is what they got wrong, but this is why it's wrong, and this is how this could have been done
I'm down.
in a way that was safe and sane and consensual.
I'm down. I've seen
See-
the first movie and I haven't read the books.
See, that's a good one. Beth said the secretary.
Secretary.
See, Beth, you weren't here earlier. I had not my doctor's suit on. Let me take
That's the
Ooh.
first time I read the book. She wrote that to be a movie. Don't get mad at the movie people. She wanted that shit. She did that. Fair enough.
That's fucking awesome.
You know,
But
So,
this is as far as we've made it into the movie.
ooh.
we've gotten right in the intro. We watched it late at night. So, you know.
And I'm like, oh.
Now,
hey.
one thing I've always heard though, 50 Shades was written to be a fan fiction for Twilight.
Yeah.
Really?
That makes no fucking sense.
The original story was a fan fiction for Twilight that got turned into the first book, and then she just
my
kept writing.
But
Yeah, see, it's a fantasy writer that had no experience. I mean, like, if you don't have experience in this stuff, don't try to educate people and make it a story.
now,
If
So-
you're
in
gonna
all
write a
fairness-
fanfic, just let it be a fanfic.
in
Can
all
we-
fairness, I do not think that it was written with the intent of being educational. I think it was written for purely entertainment purposes. But too many people saw it and took it the wrong way.
Right.
It was a person writing a fan fiction going, here's something I think is hot in their fan
Right.
fiction.
Day 6 was
Jesus, my heart is off. They look nice.
As much as I
We
would
do
love
not
to sit here,
censor AO3.
Hold on.
as much as I would love to sit here and bash the hell out of 50 Shades of Fucked Up and the Twilight Saga, because don't even get me started.
But
That is not the topic of the evening, is it, Vaughn?
No,
I
no.
would also, really quick, like for Mister to invite everybody to Unscripted After Dark.
The 17th, I think it is.
Yeah, I guess I just invited y'all, and Mister doesn't need to say anything else. But there are people on the panel there that actually write some really good educational storyline
Mr. Anderson,
comics, and yeah.
he is a big person on the panel there. He has made so much. He does the
So, like,
dark side of comics and stuff like that. What's it called? There's a book that he's got written, and it's amazing, and I can't remember the name of it. It sucks, or it doesn't suck. It sucks that I can't remember. The book is fantastic. But yeah, I have to remember that and get you guys a copy of it. Yeah.
I know it was easy to get off on the tangent for as much of us, know and loathe the series as far as what it did for trying to take a bunch of people that thought that they were into the lifestyle and, got thrown in head first. But when it comes to the safe and consensual part, I understand that's where we got off on the tangent. The primary aspect of that, again, is communication. If you're not actively talking both ways, checking in, then the consent isn't there. And if the consent's not there, nobody's having the right kind of fun.
Exactly. And that's, that's all it comes down to, is just make sure you're communicating with your partner. You know what to expect. You know what's going to happen. Even if it's very vague, even if you're like, we're going to have an impact play scene, and that's all you tell. If you know they don't like certain things and you know that those are the limits, don't use them. But if you say an impact scene, that could be a paddle. It could be a crop. Bonding is, yeah, absolutely. Yes, Dream. I haven't seen Love and Leashes yet, though.
I think that we started it, but you guys didn't like the fact that it was in Korean.
I have a hard time. So it's not the fact it's Korean. I don't mind that part. The dubbing doesn't match the mouth moving, and it screws me up. I'd rather listen to it in Korean and read what they're saying.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to do, but
Subtitles are better than dubbing, IMO.
absolutely.
Because I can watch a movie all day that has a different language. That's fine. It's when they're saying hello and the old school joke about dubbing the old karate movies and stuff like that. They say hello and their mouth's still moving for 30 more seconds.
Yeah. That was a really good movie, though. I love that movie. I think it gives a good idea of how awkward it can be, and how you bump into your coworker, and one minute you think that they're the most fantastic normal person. The next thing you know, they're getting a dog collar in the mail, and it's for them. Also, consent is a big thing that wasn't a part of that movie at first. So, warning there.
That's
So
a good
I want
point.
to.
Bonding also has an extreme lack of consent, so it gets better over time, but be warned that that is one of its flaws.
I will say the only positive thing that I will say about 50 Shades of Grey is that it probably introduced some people that eventually became educated in proper ways to do things to a lifestyle they may not have known about. So kudos to that part. Real quick before we move on, sad part of the show I really wanted to acknowledge though. Rihanna Gay. Have you guys heard about that yet?
Yeah,
16-year-old trans girl in the UK that was murdered. They
and they're
arrested.
saying it wasn't a hate crime. They're
They're not
immediate.
certain of it yet. I mean, it seems like it would, be. So hopefully the investigation goes right. But it's just really fucking sad that two 15-year-olds killed a 16-year-old trans girl. Like, and it's really fucked up. So
She'd been dealing with like a lot of transphobic bullying leading up to it, and like
Yeah,
is just, yeah.
I want to know what's up with people that they're so stupid that, they're completely oblivious to this shit, and then afterwards they're like, oh, I wish we had done something.
It's not stupid. The people who go, "Oh, I didn't know anything was happening. I wish I could have helped," are virtue signaling after the fact.
Which is
Well,
stupid.
there are two. There are two different types. There are the types like myself who had no idea who Brianna Gray was, and so now I'm getting educated. And yes, if I could have been there, I would have done something different. Not
No,
like
that's
could have.
not what I'm talking about at
Yeah.
all. You weren't there. This is after the fact. I'm talking about the people who were there.
I
Yeah.
get that. And people, by and large, are mean or ambivalent or apathetic, basically because they can't carry the weight of emotions that it takes to be compassionate.
for sure. And I just wanted to acknowledge that for a minute. I know, like, a lot of people may not know it, but it's super important to acknowledge that could happen. So if you know somebody that's trans or you know somebody that is gay or lesbian or anything like that, be there for them. If you see somebody bullying somebody, bully the fuck out of the bully.
Check in with your friends, and if somebody's gonna bully them, hang them by their fucking underwear from the flagpole,
Exactly.
just like the good old days.
Conversely, another way is to offer safe spaces. Like,
Yes.
in the area that I am in, you guys are familiar that it's a very conservative, closed-minded area. All of my children's friends know that no matter who they are or how they feel about themselves, they can be themselves in my home and around me safely.
I said it the other day jokingly on Facebook, I'm only an asshole in public. And that's true. If you message me privately and need to talk about something, I'm there for you. I don't have judgment. I don't have concerns about stuff like that. If you just need somebody to vent to or just to get some advice from. A lot of us here are open, safe spaces. Now, some of us, we talk about it all the time. Some of us can't handle certain subjects and stuff like that. But yeah, we're here for you if you need somebody to talk to. So
No matter what you might need, there is at least one person here that can at least listen.
For sure. So yeah, I just wanted to take that little quick break for a minute. Sorry to be a downer right in the middle of that stuff. I was going to do it at the beginning, but we were possuming and all the other things.
We were
I think it was a perfect
I was
time.
being bullied. Yeah, I know.
If it's bullying, if it's done with love,
Yes.
Yes.
that sounds about right. Okay. That's like the story of my life.
Done with love. The answer is yes. Yes, it is.
That goes back to the most fucked up thing that I think anybody ever teaches their children about bullies in school is if they're picking on you, it's because they like you.
Well, that applies up until like third grade.
Like it doesn't at all. Like
No.
the first lesson you get from that is, okay, well, if it's a sign they like me, I guess I have to tolerate them treating me like shit.
Yes.
And that stays with you for so fucking long.
It's
Alice,
not-
you can choke on the microphone to say that louder, please.
I didn't.
Okay, so
I was on
counterpoint.
camera. I didn't deep throat the mic.
Counterpoint. You know, sometimes that is true. I'm not saying we should teach our kids that, but I had one kid who bullied the fuck out of me, and then okay, this is terrible. One kid bullied the fuck out of me. I left that school. I went to Sunday school. He climbed a tree and apologized with a fucking rose in his hand. Like, oh no, I didn't mean it.
Okay,
I'm like,
conversely,
So there's a
That may-
difference.
Bro, no.
What you got, right?
that may be the thing in some cases, but conversely, can't we just teach our children better ways of expressing themselves?
Oh yeah, but now don't get me wrong. Like me, and it sounds like, you know, if I'm not even gonna justify it. There's an art to it. Picking on someone to show that you have an affection for them, that you're genuinely into them, and something like that. It depends on your dynamic. Depends on how much of a dick you're being. You know, there is an art to it that is a fine line.
Counterpoint, there's a big difference between affectionately teasing somebody and actually bullying them.
Oh yeah, big difference though. Big difference in that one.
Wouldn't that be role playing?
No.
No, I don't think any of them were pretending to bully me earlier.
No, the ones that are pretending to be a dick to get your attention.
Oh, you mean Mister? He's gonna be the dictionary definition of this. You're gonna look up being an asshole for just the fun of it, and you're gonna see his picture there. In fact, I'm gonna go on Urban Dictionary later, and I'm gonna do that.
Ooh, you should, instead of calling it being an asshole, you should say it. You should call it pulling a mister.
Pulling a mister. There you go. Absolutely. You know, I was taught that as a kid, so I'm not gonna lie. I was taught that if somebody picks on you, it's because they like you. I thought it was very popular in school, but I was not. Obviously, apparently, I guess.
Okay, I have another thing to mention now that we've said this, though. What if, because we're telling our kids if they like you, they're going to pick on you, starts them picking on other people because, oh, I like this person.
So there's an
We
art
really
to it. You gotta
shouldn't
get your
do
ass
that.
a couple times to.
I think that's just kind of funny, like the concept of it.
It
We
is, it
shouldn't
is.
be doing it, but I swear there's at least one kid that took it that way.
And see,
Hi,
That
how you
is-
doing? I'm that kid.
that is also why, like with my kids, I sit down and I have these conversations with, if you think that it is because of this, communicate that. Talk to this kid. How many of those kids that pick on other kids because they like them would stop picking on them if the kid just went up to them and said, hey, are you doing this because you like me? Because, you know, I might like you too, but this ain't how it's going to work.
So, let me tell you something about that. Let me tell you a little thing about telling your bully, do you like me? This kid stole his mother's wedding ring afterwards.
Oh my.
Oh,
He came out with like a $1,200 wedding ring or some shit that he stole from his mother, got down on the fucking playground, and was like, marry me.
You know what though? I bet that kid now gives like the best apologies ever. Like his girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever they're with, they get in a fight, and they're like, you know what? I'm fuck buying a bouquet of roses. I'm gonna buy you a whole fucking garden somewhere.
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Since we're sharing stories, I want to share my "Is this because you like me?" story. I had this guy that would like constantly harass me from like 3rd grade all the way up to 7th grade, and I finally got the nerve to pull that line on him. And he kind of went real quiet for a minute, and then I just went, "Hey, you wanna meet up after school?" And then like showed up, and like we had like this secret dating thing for like 2 days, just so I could break up with him 2 days later.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's
That's how you bully the bullies right there.
I was a shitty kid, I'll be honest,
It's okay.
but like that's how that ended. from me.
necessary shittiness occurs.
I mean, I've done stuff like that too, but goddamn.
So, to loop back into this, speaking of zebras, we were talking about day 6. We kind of touched on this a little bit ago, that vanilla to kink to the extreme kinks still has to start with a role play. So before you can find out that's who you are in a dynamic and that's how you are, you have to try it on. You got to try on different shoes to see if they fit. Muted again. Yep, you're still muted.
You're muted.
It's like test driving a car. If you have never driven a truck before, but you want to drive a truck, you go out and take it on a test drive. You don't buy one and then just automatically assume truck life. That's not the way that goes. You go, oh, I'm going to at least borrow my buddies and try it out. Something unto that effect. And I don't mean go borrow your buddy's lady and try doing anything funny.
Yeah. I mean, if they're into that kind of thing.
I mean, if they're into it, everyone's consenting and everyone's built. Whatever.
That one time that I went out and impulse bought a motorcycle, I feel like I should have heard this story before.
How do you impulse buy a motorcycle?
I invested in Dogecoin as a bet against my dad and made like $7,000.
And then was like, you know what? I've never had a motorcycle and I want a motorcycle. I'm going to get a motorcycle.
Yeah. And then I couldn't even drive it afterwards because I got sick like 2 weeks later.
At least Dream was honest and said that they impulse bought it and didn't say like, oh, I accidentally bought a motorcycle one time.
Impulse buy is definitely more accurate.
Oh, man. But no, I think that was a really good take on that, though, is that role-playing is truly like where the tree branches. It's the vanilla base, and then it's got to branch out somehow. And where it starts to branch out is that role-play area. Even if
I feel like I'm completely different from everybody else here who's agreeing with this shit.
What?
Well, sometimes you do just know. Like, sometimes you know that is who you are and that is what you want. But there are a lot of other times where, like, you can do all the research you want. You can look into all the different things on paper. But for some people, until you actually experience the thing, you don't know if you're going to actually like it or not.
Right.
I have been this way since I was 8 years old, and I don't understand all this vanilla bullshit you guys are
when you
talking
crawled
about.
out of the portal? You were already 8 years old?
Yeah, totally.
I love it. Yeah, I love that Dream knows like who they are. That's like the one person I've ever met. It's like, this is who the fuck I am.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Son of a bitch. I hate that question. I know you're trying to roleplay as a kinky therapist or some shit, but no, you need a license for that
What
shit.
does this ink blot look like?
I'm sorry, on that ink blood, all I saw was a dildo.
But yeah, no, I don't understand this whole like you guys are like everything stems from vanilla. Get your fucking vanilla out of here.
Well,
I am a mint chocolate.
Whoa, Dream, honey, I don't yuck your yum.
But the other thing is, though, we already also did say nothing applies to everyone.
Yep.
But we also don't scoop vanilla ice cream into Dream's bowl.
I mean, I actually like vanilla ice cream. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the people who are like, oh yeah, everything starts with sex.
Okay.
Get your shit out of here. Get your sex away from me.
Okay, so I'm going to use the same analogy that I've used for religion before, and they actually know where this is going. Kink is like underwear.
Where have I heard this before?
Jeez, right? It is okay to know what kind of underwear you like. It is okay to know what kind of underwear somebody else likes. It is okay to discuss your underwear with other people. It is not okay to shove your underwear down someone else's throat without consent.
Without consent.
That's the key part. Without consent.
I feel like that's
Oh.
a choking hazard.
Thanks. Now, thanks.
You could
If you're
shove
getting
words
into
in
the
but
kind
not
of
choke that, I promise.
if you're getting into the kind of space where you're going to be shoving underwear down someone's throat, every person in the room is a choking hazard.
Yeah. So I have a question to go back at Jen because she wanted to ask that terrible one. I have a better one. How do you want me to make that feel?
Oh,
That's a
boy.
sexy question. That's not even like a
Ugh.
what? How do you want me to?
It's
Yes.
a much better question than how do you feel?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Did it just get like 10 degrees hotter to anybody else?
Absolutely.
No, I'm good.
I
I'll
could
keep my
use the
vanilla ass
voice.
in the freezer.
I could get the voice out.
Well,
I feel like I'd kill some of you.
use the bathroom.
I have. Oh.
Daysex, for context, Stream's the only person I bought him for.
I understand. That's fine.
But I have one word spot. Puddles.
Taco soup.
Yeah, that one.
Oh my.
So,
Yeah.
so Dream, what's this voice?
Oh fuck.
No. No.
Well, only if you're comfortable.
It's the voice that I joke about using on the lives, but no one's gonna hear it. It's like that one time I growled at someone and they went silent because they were trying to do it to me, and they did not like it when it backfired. They went silent and backed up a few inches.
I don't
Oh.
know that we
Nothing-
want to summon the demon.
Nothing that's been said thus far has reduced my interest in hearing this voice.
Well, you can hear it later when we're not on the stream.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Squeak.
I somehow think the conversation instead of despair.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, how to get started.
Yeah, that's how right there.
Yeah,
Speaking of
exactly.
zebras,
It's pretty damn easy. You get a group of your friends together. One of you starts a D&D game.
Before you know it, you're rolling for initiative.
Before you know it, you're out there fucking ogres as a bard with a magical loot.
Still does.
You got 7 chicks on your arm and a fucking demon in the back.
well, where do you do that? I want to go there.
Dibs on the incubus.
So anybody watching this that wants to get started with roleplay, we've got a couple comments that I've missed. Who melted?
Yeah.
Melted.
Jen, yeah.
Oh yeah, when Dream said that. Oh yeah.
Wait, go back. You're flipping them too fast.
Okay.
Okay,
We
go ahead.
speed around here.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at words like this big that if I have to look real close to have them be words.
So Mira says, how to get started? Dream just got everyone started with that one question.
Yeah.
So props and costumes help.
We're gonna go make hot cocoa while we're talking. I'll mute. Don't worry, but I need hot cocoa.
Well, you can keep talking to us. It's okay. You don't have to mute.
Props and costumes can help, but I think honestly the best way to get started is the headspace.
Mhm.
I have a wig on my headspace.
I have nothing on my headspace.
I guess ears, but
It really depends on the person, because some people might be more comfortable having something external to start the role play, which is where props and costumes might help. Some
I got
people
what
might.
you mean.
but that would be what would start their headspace.
Yep, so
They
it's
might
up-
have to figure out what that headspace is, rather than holding something, just putting them into it.
I like your hair, mister.
Thank you.
I lost my other wigs. I don't know where they went.
Took me forever to do it.
Another way that I would say would be a good way to get started before you enact anything is do your research. If something sounds like it might be interesting, research it.
Absolutely.
And like specifically, I would recommend starting with researching how to do it safely.
Mhm.
Yes. And from reliable sources.
Vet your sources, make sure you're getting something credible rather than some random Dom's blog on FetLife.
Yep. Or some asshole that runs a website that writes articles. Yeah. Read a bunch of assholes' articles and then take out what you need. Debriefing is always important. I think that goes with, aftercare obviously is more of a better word than debriefing, but, to make sure that everybody's on the same page and okay. And, enjoy yourself. Laugh if you find something funny. Stumble through it if you fuck up and just keep on going.
Or conversely, if you don't feel like you can keep on going, it is okay to end it at any time.
Absolutely. Remember
Yeah,
that
just role play breaking up with that person afterwards if you want to end it.
There you go.
Don't actually do that. That's a horrible, horrible thing to do.
Break up with him if it goes badly. Just kidding. I was
All right. Counterpoint: if it's discussed ahead of time, role play breaking up so that you can role play make-up sex.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Role play hating each other. So that
But now to be effective with that, you would have to say, hey, in like the next week or two, I'm going to pick a fight with you, and we're going to have such a bad fight, we're going to break up, but we're going to have awesome makeup sex, and we're going to still be together.
Again, as long as everyone's an adult and it's consensual,
yes,
go for it.
Discuss it. Yeah, and discuss it beforehand.
So, okay, I have a neat little tactic to tell you guys about really quick. It involves communication, but if you struggle with communication and you're maybe you're in a relationship and you might not have discussed these things with your partner because you didn't know about them, and now you're here and you kind of want to get it going in that direction. So this tactic that I'm going to introduce to you is called breadcrumbing. And this means dropping small hints and clues out in front of your partner, like with social media. Like you could sit and watch this much and say, hey, hun, what do you think about this? And feel out how the other person feels about it. Deeper into it, though, you could
show them Alice's Facebook page.
Niche out exactly what you're interested. Exactly, like for instance, if I wanted to do more rope play, I would probably start collecting a little more rope at the house and learning myself and saying, "Hey, sweetie, look at this.
This feels nice."
Can I jump in on this just real quick?
For sure.
Make sure that that's something that works with your partner.
Yes.
I'm autistic. That would not work with me. I would just like, oh, cool. You're picking up a new hobby? Awesome. Let me know how it goes. And that would be as far as that conversation goes.
Well, see, that's where that communication with your partner comes in. To communicate the way they understand it, would pick up on it. So, like, your partner bringing it, going to Lowe's and saying, "Hey, look, this rope feels soft. I bet it would be fun in the bedroom. You think we could try that?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, even as obvious as that, it's still dropping a hint because you're able to kind of gauge the body language a little bit before you drop that question.
Guys, look at what I got today.
What you got today? Rope.
Kitty.
Ooh.
Speaking of rope, but yeah.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think of other things. just pick what you're interested in and possibly doing it, and see how your partner feels about it. Impact play.
Dream, that middle rope's real nice.
And that's where the communication comes in of asking them after you guys have listened to this, hey, what you think about that? How do you feel about that? Do you think, you might be interested in doing that with me? Should we look up junipergen.com and get a flogger?
Yes, we should.
Very, very subtle plug there. Good job. Should we look at KinkSlayer's article about sexy LARPing? Yeah.
Do you get to keep track of stats with that? I'm just curious. What happens when you level up?
Haven't you guys ever talked to somebody before?
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
You don't just go, hey, darling, I'd like to have a chat with you about this.
Well, I need to talk to you is never a good way to introduce a conversation to a significant other.
Well,
it is when you have the rope in your hand.
Well, and also,
that's when a shovel gets involved. What's that, Ray? Sorry.
And also, though, that might work for you, but there are a lot of people that would not be comfortable enough to just come out and say, this is the thing I would like to talk about.
It's almost like you want to do subliminal messaging, if that works on whoever it may be,
That is called manipulating.
Well, gaslighting.
You should tailor how you communicate your interest to the comfort level of both parties involved.
Yes.
Right. So what we're saying is you can positively gaslight your partner if you try.
Very icky.
Ding dong, you're wrong.
Thank you.
How am I wrong? Hold on. If I start watching 50 Shades of Grey, if I buy the book, if I do all these things without saying a word to you,
then you've bought a book and watched a movie.
But it's putting that thing in your head. You're seeing it around me constantly.
But it is not gaslighting.
How so?
You're so pedantic, mister. I love this, but
Alice, you're better with words, and that term makes me very angry. And
gaslighting is specifically using lies or half-truths to make someone question their ability to understand reality.
Thank you.
You don't want, if you're going, hey, I want to get into this new kink or this new activity that I'm thinking about doing with you, you don't want to fundamentally undermine your partner's mental health to make that happen.
Correct.
Right.
So you're not gaslighting them, and there's not a positive way to gaslight
Maybe we'll
someone.
call it spotlighting, dear. Do you like that?
I like that. That's a good one. Let's call that spotlighting.
But I call it breadcrumbing, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it's a really good way to start that conversation when it could be uncomfortable, just because I'm shy. I understand.
Guys, I feel like I'm still the odd one out here because you guys are talking about being nervous, and I'm just a fucking Aries over here who's going to be blunt as fuck.
And some people are. I mean,
I'm a May Taurus, and equally blunt. So,
it's right.
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I'm sorry. Scorpios represent what?
Ray might kill you.
God. When you are doing the thing that you talked about, Miss Jen, in a positive way, yes, it can be a very good thing. However, to turn it into a gaslighting situation would be making your partner think that this is a good idea and a good thing, whether or not they actually think it is, and making them question their ability to judge if that is actually something they would be into.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference there. What you're talking about is very positive, just showing hints of, hey, I might be interested in this, rather than making somebody fundamentally question their own thought process.
This Mr. Mental Health moment is brought to you by me being an asshole on purpose. Okay, carrying on.
I love you, Mr. But fuck you.
See, that gives me more love feeling than I love you. See. So, how about getting into character? People that don't normally do this are looking into getting into role play. What is a good way they could potentially ease themselves into not feeling so embarrassed by doing so?
Depending on your partner. By the way, Regally Wild.
Oh, yeah, Regally Wild.
Just in case anyone was wondering.
I was gonna say take a trip to the Goodwill. Oh, my button keeps stopping.
Oh no, how terrible.
0 complaints.
Like like for a specific tip, I would say maybe decide if like the thing that you're going to try to role play is like a recurring character or if it's just like a one-off thing. Because like I know some people have like full-on personas that they'll assume in any spicy context or any role-playing context, but it's the same character each time, and that helps them feel more comfortable because they don't have to be a different person every time if they don't want to be.
Hashtag everybody who's on the munch right now being public.
I was gonna say personally, I might be a bad role player because Mr. never knows what he's gonna get with me. Like, I don't communicate that ahead of time that I'm gonna be dressed the way I'm dressed and tell him that I'm being a dirty little birdie and.
But we've already
shit like that.
I'm down.
Being dressed a certain way does not mean an open invitation.
That's a good point to put, but
in this context, it's between you and Mr. and you've already established consent, and that
right.
We get it.
Sure. That's the key. Is like I've already consented from like day one. Like okay.
Might I offer another tip for getting into character? If you give your character an accent, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Just a slight change of speech pattern can help you change your mindset slightly.
Oh,
Simple
this reminds me when I worked at a scary place as a haunt person. I did the London accent.
As a haunt person?
Yeah.
You worked as a haunt actor or a scare actor at a haunt.
Professional motherfucking makeup. Yeah.
Nice.
But so I had a really shitty pilot, and all the pictures are gone. So maybe we'll see it on like a website or something one day.
So a good way to get started is Jen's favorite place to go. Jen, would you like to tell them all about where you like to go for your pretty costumes?
Goodwill? Oh, hey, so that leaves me, I got this from Goodwill, but it is Spirit Halloween, which is, well, your favorite place to go. Spirit. My little doctor's
Clearance racks are a good option too.
Mm-hmm. And then in preparation, there's also like a question of how authentic you want your costume to be and how authentic it's safe to be. Because like we mentioned the police thing earlier, you don't want to look like you're actually impersonating a cop.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work really hard on making sure it's extra glittery and stripper looking like.
I was just gonna do like a mesh one, so it's gonna be pretty obvious.
Hopefully.
Not only do you not want to impersonate a cop, don't get caught impersonating a soldier either. Just going on record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. That's why some role play is important to keep in the bedroom and actually not drive down the West Coast doing it, although we may.
Well, hey, we're on the East Coast, so it's fine.
More to the West Coast.
We're not in California, where everything will kill you.
I'm sorry. I'm a time traveler. We have a role playing again.
What are you pointing to?
Ray, who keeps trying to talk.
Yeah, there we go.
I would personally say that, in general speaking, any authority figure might not be a good idea to publicly fully impersonate.
Fair.
Right.
An example of like a more authentic costume setup. My partner who was on here complimenting me earlier, and one of our mutual friends are planning on doing like a corruption kink photo shoot where like he's going to be a priest and we're both going to be nuns, and like we're going through the steps to like put together like actual like traditional nuns habits with the Cossack, the 2-layer veils, like the whole 9 yards. And like that you can do pretty.
on that coming up if you want to go with me. I'll mind.
I would love to. Give me more information later.
But also, like animal play, you might want more authentic things to be that character.
I'm just gonna go for like 1 minute.
When it comes to like not costume necessarily, but personas and your character and stuff like that, practice. Because if you feel embarrassed to say things out loud to yourself, you're definitely going to feel embarrassed if you say things out loud to a person. So practice. I mean, if you're riding down the car, put on your role for a minute and just, work on it.
Yeah. That's very important, especially if you're shy.
Mm-hmm.
So now this one I added, I didn't know like how to really work on this. Maybe we all can give some ideas and input on this stuff, incorporating fantasy. So like, the fantasy realm of things. I really think that would be a fun way to use those oversized dice and have like a bedroom Dungeons and Dragons kind of fun.
I specifically asked if you had done that earlier and didn't get an answer.
No, my bad. I seen that earlier. That's when I was like, get your ass up here. But no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like actually incorporate the aspects of Dungeons and Dragons into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Dice and all that other shit, and build your character sheet and do all that shit.
I already have this like house where we're gonna fucking reenact it all.
Right.
Are there places? I bet there's already places you can go to play it like that.
Live D&D.
I can't be the first person.
Is there a place where you can have live D&Ds?
It's called LARPing.
Well, I know LARPing, but I'm talking like you and your group, and you got one dungeon master and a whole bunch of shit in a big building.
Yes.
So they're actually doing a virtual reality version of that where you actually get to go around and kill things like Skyrim or D&D, but you actually get to go do it in like this giant fucking place.
You guys remember the shitty Magic Quest stuff they used to have in the touristy towns?
Mm-mm.
Nobody remembers that?
I don't live in a tourist trap, so no.
They have like at Myrtle Beach and Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and like your main touristy attractions.
Like the Ripley.
They have like your Ripley's and these standard places too, but like this is called Magic Quest. And you get a wand or something like that, and you get to go around and cast spells at things, and it's like it was so terrible. It's like awful.
So a little bit like a little bit of a practical suggestion. If you've got a partner who's comfortable with it and like you're comfortable with it, Hypno and some of the suggestions that you can give to people through hypnosis can kind of tip into fantasy territory, help them get into the headspace for role playing out fantasy situations.
Right. You could have the whole knight who slayed a dragon, not necessarily like have the scenario in the bedroom, but that could be like the backstory. Would be a nice way to.
The knight who got the job wrong and didn't slay the dragon.
Yeah, slay, lay. Just the letter was smudged. I wasn't sure what that was.
I said slay the dragon, not lay the dragon.
But they were cute.
Oh man.
I know, time's fun when you're having flies. I mean, time's flies when you're having fun. Sorry, I'm not a frog today.
So once we get into that stuff, the fantasy aspect, I think you can have fun with the primal play, with like the werewolves. Vamp play is a big thing. Which, speaking of, I can't wait to go to fucking New Orleans in October. Oh,
I think I want to dress like a fairy and go amongst the vampires.
Oh my goodness!
Any of them want to feed on me?
Alive. If you go as a fairy and nobody gets the reference, I'm gonna be so fucking disappointed.
I might be offended.
Actually, in Louisiana,
right?
Oof. Oof.
What?
What you got?
First, I'm a visual person, so you discussing Jen in fairy outfit has blood moving around in directions.
Okay, so he's losing his brain
Have you
power.
never
Hurry up,
seen
get it
that
out.
before?
I mean, it was already moving from lovely here. But the idea of being the fairy amongst the vampires, I don't know which reference you're going for. I'm just hoping it's not the Laurel K. Hamilton reference.
I think it's
True Blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, True Blood.
I got you. I read all the books. I haven't seen a single bit of the show.
The show is fantastic. I haven't read the books yet, so now that we have watched the show together. I've watched it twice now, but now that she's finished the show, we want to get the book. Now, because that's how I like to read books. I like to get a character visualization of who, and then kind of go into it. I've always been that weird person.
I do the opposite direction because I feel like having the visual representation of the character fucks up my imagination with the book.
But see,
it did when I read Forrest Gump. Yeah.
But now I can't read The Witcher without picturing Henry Cavill.
I know.
Fuck.
I don't mind that.
Right.
Well,
and funny enough, a lot of people, when they started watching Game of Thrones before the show came out and they read the books, pictured Sean Bean as Ned Stark, and it was perfect. And when they made the show and Sean Bean was Ned Stark, everybody's like, "Yeah, it makes fucking sense. Like the only person to be Ned Stark." So it's kind of it was one of those situations where it worked either way.
Do any of y'all have those books for me? I want those books. Really bad.
You rarely get that lineup of like a character in your head. So I feel like it's less disappointing when I get to I can look at the book like the Targaryens in Game of Thrones are supposed to have purple eyes and they didn't have purple eyes in the show. I'm like, cool, whatever. That's a weird detail to leave out. Contact would have fixed that, but reading it and then watching the show, I would have had my head built up to who these people are supposed to be. When they don't look like that, it's much more disappointing to me.
I can see either direction.
Different strokes.
Yeah.
Left hand versus right hand.
To each their own.
The stranger versus the double Dutch rudder.
Yeah. Double Dutch rudder. You can't beat a double Dutch rudder.
So surprisingly, I just want to bring it back to books real quick. I find these in free book things all the time. I might have a couple copies if anybody needs them. I'll have to look for them tomorrow. But this one is so cool. It's got a note inside. And Jennifer. And it's really pretty handwriting.
And when she puts them out places, she puts her business card and all the advertising for her stuff out there. That way, if they're already interested in this, they have somewhere to go buy now.
And educate themselves.
So I think it's quite wonderful.
I'll write a little note in there. Tell them if you're really interested in this. Follow along with us and educate themselves. And
educated kink is safer kink.
so if anybody has one of those, Be cool to let me know.
Skip to this one. Let's hold that one for last. So, making it real, authenticity. So we've talked about costumes. Like with the witch role play, the stockade. That's a decent one to think about. But you also have like your court jester, stockade, stuff like that. Your humiliation. Vampire gloves. You can buy Fang. You can buy the vampire gloves, which I know Dream absolutely adores their vampire gloves. So if you don't know what vampire gloves are, then Dream will happily show you.
I get you some fangs from the costume.
Do I have to go find them now?
No, I
They're
meant
over
like
there somewhere.
they can drop you a lot of money to let you experience the vampire glove.
I mean, if someone wants to drop me some money, I will gladly. The thing about it, though, is that you have to bring your own vampire gloves. I'm not going to let you use mine. That's dirty.
I work at a pizza place, so I could bring home a pizza box. Got
You realize
sausage pizza.
How much I've thought about, because of Jen's live yesterday night, just going out and getting a pizza cutter. I don't know what the fuck I would use it for, but that was the first thing that came to my mind yesterday.
That's an interesting take on edge play. When you buy a pizza cutter, that motherfucker's sharp for like 3 uses.
See, that's where control comes in. You have to know how to control.
Or go to the dollar store.
They also make plastic pizza cutters. Just saying.
Yeah.
Silicone one, that would be nice.
What kind of loser uses a plastic pizza cutter?
Someone who has kids nearby and doesn't want to have a full surface
Oh
edge
my God.
anywhere near them.
Go get you a freaking Play-Doh kit.
Good night, Amira. Yep, Play-Doh kit. Perfect.
Good night.
You can add those aspects of authenticity. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to go spend thousands of dollars on a costume.
It can also be things like doing your research if you're role playing from a specific time period. Do the research on things that were actually said. If you're role playing a specific character, research what that character is like.
Accent. Listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever method of research works for you.
I just kind of want to mention real quick that if you want to play something from medieval times, please do not use Shakespeare as a reference to how they speak. So many people do that.
Unless you want to be corny and cheesy.
Yeah. You should definitely watch, if you're going to role play like in medieval times, Monty Python is the best source for that.
I don't get
references,
so I don't know.
Destroy Alice Night.
What was that, Dream?
It's just Destroy Alice Night. Alice is going to sit down there and be a good little boy, and we're going to sit up here and destroy.
You know why? Because we love Alice, because Alice is a good time. And like you said,
I've been wanting to do that this entire time, but I was trying to be nice.
We all take our turn.
I was going to get up and storm away, but I don't think I can get up in this outfit while I'm on camera.
So,
for shame. For shame.
I don't know how long you guys want to keep doing this, but Soup is wondering, is the munch over soon?
Hell no. We're never over.
I was just going to say, our session's over, sweetheart. Would you like a cookie or maybe a coffee?
Yeah, I've already got my coffee cup. Come on.
Here, I offer.
Jen, if we could get that combo you brought Mister earlier.
Right in front of us.
Coffee and a kiss.
Hell yeah.
Good example.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I have something in here.
But I will be over with the munch after this paper has been smoked with the stuff I'm going to put in it. Because it's my last one in the pack.
Oh yeah. So like the advanced techniques. How about those guys?
I think we've kind of been talking about that for the last half hour.
Right.
Kind
well,
of.
no, a few hours.
We just have to get the banner up there.
So,
Advanced techniques is anything that requires more detail than basic.
Yeah. I would say also anything that is expected to be more full time than just a scene. So like
Right.
if you have a dom who collars you and like you're not allowed to take the collar off and you're expected to be that character until the dom takes it off. Again, assuming this is all discussed and consented to.
Right.
Like
80s housewife is a popular one.
I was gonna say
Yes.
the 50s housewife. Did you say the 80s?
Wait, no, I don't want my housewife all looted up.
I was gonna say that's gonna be Quaaludes, Van Halen, and Poison. Like it's gonna be just a fucking rock fest all.
I mean, I
That sounds
wouldn't
awesome,
fucking
honestly.
mind that, okay?
Backstory, storytelling, things like that. You could establish it over the course of a few scenes that this is what's going to happen, how we're going to do this, and it's going to be, this is going to be Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And
Give your character a background story, like, yes, I'm the man who went out at the business trip, and my wife is cheating on me with the milkman.
Not the milkman.
I seen that. Isn't it like a play or something that does that?
You know why the milkman was popular, right? Because he always asked if you wanted it in the front or in the back.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Always consider it.
Now, because if you take it out too soon, you lose interest.
Now we have the fucking Amazon delivery driver unconsensually sticking it everywhere.
You guys, I have to use the coffee soap after this because you fuckers are dirty.
Oh.
I just took a shower though, and I scrub behind my ears and everything.
You just got clean to get dirtier.
Hell yeah! Isn't that the way of life?
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Don't you just light the lighter till the lighter gets so light that it can't light no more?
Exactly. A lot of light. I love you all. I think this has been quite informative.
Indeed.
Always.
Is it bullshit time now because we got all the informative shit out of the way?
I mean, we kind of just learned to weave our bullshit into it now.
Yeah.
Get better at that.
It's a beautiful basket of education and.
I mean, me and Ray showed up early we showed up at 9:30 to bullshit, so we didn't have to bullshit the whole time. See? You come early, you get bullshit time.
I never come early.
Well, then you're missing out. It's a race, not a marathon.
Not about the size of the ship. It's not about the motion of the ocean. It's making sure all passengers get off at port.
Very nice. I like that. I like that much better. But I mean, I'm always a fan of the TV commercial. That's how quick it could be.
Right.
I don't know in today's era though. Like the TV commercials kind of go on for a little while.
They're a little shorter than they were when we were coming up.
But they have like 40 of them back to back. So. Did anybody watch the sports ball game Sunday?
Yes.
I watched the
went to a friend's
halftime
place.
show.
Oh, the
And-
halftime show was amazing. I mean, because certain groups of certain race of people are just terribly distraught that there were people not like them at the halftime show, as they are every time. But
Oh no! Whatever will we do
I know
about their fragileness?
Okay, if we're talking about the Super Bowl shit, can we talk about the fucking He Gets Us commercials?
Oh yes, please. Can we talk about those?
Okay, so you guys got to inform me.
Yeah.
Commercials, really.
They're fucking Jesus commercials.
Oh God.
See, I heard stuff about that. I didn't see them though, and now it makes me want to. You know what? Let's enjoy one of these together.
There was
Stay long.
Love Your Enemies and Be Childlike were the two from the Super Bowl.
I typed in E and the letter G, and it was like, bam.
Uh-oh, I hope I didn't share something stupid, y'all. Good enough. Not me.
Oh, Lord.
What'd you share?
Something about being childlike.
All right, are
And
we
it's
ready?
not a bad thing.
Let's see what this bullshit is.
I don't know. I didn't watch the Super Bowl or anything else, so.
Nuh-uh.
This is the first time I've ever on purpose watched the Super Bowl.
Are you guys
Oh,
ready for
God.
this?
They're not paying us for this, Mr. Dennett.
I gotta see what this stupid shit is, though.
Okay.
Quick play.
In the mirror, what do you see? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? 'Cause I'm only human after all. Oh, some people got the real problem. Some people out of love. Some people think I'm so.
Solid message until they said Jesus accepts us.
I
It
know
wasn't a
how
solid
I'm
message,
dressed
though.
right now, but
It wasn't a solid message though. It had people being like protesting over like having to wear masks. It had pictures of people at the Capitol. Like it was saying to love and respect these people who are stochastic terrorists and hurting other people. And it's kind of a
See, like, I
shitty
took it
message.
completely differently. Like, to me, it's love people that are different from you. Like, that was the message
There's
that
a
I
limit.
interpreted from it.
The biggest problem with propaganda is propped up with 60% truth. So while we can sit here and realize, especially with the song, that we are all only human and that we are all capable of both love and hate, this was not the appropriate time nor place, in my opinion, to use a religious agenda to highlight the differences that have divided our country in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I would just hope they paid the man whose song they used, because I love that singer and I hate this.
You mean like Marjorie Trader Green didn't use Dr. Dre's permission and got a cease and desist order? Oh, that's solid gold. Just gotta say.
But like, the only thing I hate about that is because I know what group, at least what side of the political spectrum, put that out.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't even follow the same teachings of the person they're talking about. You know, they're not following the teachings of Jesus, period. So you can't, like hypocritical shit pisses me off.
And like their own book that says this is what Jesus says to give your money to the poor who need it, and they're over here spending tens of millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads.
Hang out with the poor, hang out with the whores, like that's the shit you're supposed to do.
Jesus would rather sit on this panel than be at the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's fucking little.
100%.
Even with me on it. Even with
Sit on my lap.
Can we get a Jesus and dream together?
Now that's a threesome I can get behind. I bought that shit. A hot Jesus and dream like this? Okay, sign me up. Dreams like, who do I know that looks like
sure
Jesus?
I would mind a hot Jesus, but I don't like the people who abuse the actual, like, leaving out the 16 books of the Bible that they don't like.
Right? Yeah, you can't like that bugs the shit out of me. Okay, if you're gonna believe something, believe it all.
You mean like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and the Gospel of Barbarus? And
Yeah, those don't exist anymore. Those got taken out.
Or like acknowledge that you're cherry picking. Like
Right.
if you're gonna say, "Hey,
Acknowledge
this
that
is a
it
bad
was-
thing, and like we shouldn't do it today," acknowledge that.
Right. I mean, you know, like
It was translated, burned to death. Translated, altered, burned to death again, and now exists over here.
because I used to have a friend of mine that I would bring up points from the Bible, and that's the Old Testament. Well,
Mr. Ray asked to be dropped.
oh shit, I'm so sorry.
Love you, Ray.
Love you, Ray.
Love you, Ray. Sorry we didn't warn you before we got caught up in this shit.
I'm just sitting over here, just
But like,
eating my cookies.
you take out the first, like the last fucking 10 seconds of that whole thing.
It's fine.
It's
Left
good.
it with the song.
It could have even said, you know, we're all human, love each other, period. I'm cool with that. Like, the whole Jesus thing made it fucking cheap.
Well,
I agree.
So, yeah.
And I think I'm going to take leave at this time, too. We've been at it for 2 hours.
I think next year to have just as much fun for people is they should do the same thing, but at the end say, Allah loves us.
I think
See how
so.
people like it.
I would put money towards that ad.
Absolutely, just to be equal.
Okay,
Right.
I feel like a jackass now, so if we can move on.
And that's what I learned.
Love you all,
next
guys.
Monday is
Can't do that weird one, y'all. Yeah. Perfect timing. My lady's coming out. So,
Hi, lady.
all right, y'all. Love,
All right.
peace, chicken grease.